Hello, YouTubers that have fallen asleep in front of the television watching something a little bit more interesting. If you are still asleep, I'll keep the volume down to not wake you up. I'm a dab hand at falling asleep in front of the telly, sat bolt upright, so my missus never really knows if I'm asleep or not. Every now and again I just feel her looking at me thinking, you dickhead. But anyway, we're going to have a last little look at the Elvis Stalwart. It weren't a bad kit to build, it's quite enjoyable. It went together quite quickly. Can't get my words out, I've never had a beer yet, but anyway. Went together quite quickly, but there were a couple of little bits and bobs that can trip you up. So this thing, I've got no idea what it's for. I know it's not the BV, because that's square. Some kind of tank thing sits at the side of one of the seats. It tells you to put that in, and then later on, you insert a bulkhead at the back. And you can't get the parts to line up correctly if you put that in first. So bulkhead first, then that little tank thing. I don't know what it is, I don't know if it's extra fuel or storage for your beer and pies, because that's all people did in the 70s in Germany, is get pissed. Another issue was on the very, very front. So it goes on this plate here. Where is it? Here somewhere, making myself look like a dickhead, which I can do quite easily. So in the pictures, it's moulded as being the correct way, but the actual moulding on the front of mine anyway was the wrong way around. It was sideways, so I had to cut the pin off the back, rotate it, stick it in place. The other issue that I came across was, so that went on quite well. A little bit fiddly, but it didn't turn too bad. But when it comes to putting these on, move it up a little bit so you can see. So these mud flaps at the back, in this image, it says to put them into this hole here. And then in the next image, they're in a different place. So does it go in this hole? Or does it go here? Yeah, I can't remember where I put them, to be fair. Yeah. Another thing that I didn't overly like was the windscreen wipers are moulded on. I would have preferred I'd preferred photo etch, but you can't do it all, it's not bad. Also, Airfix have said that they are going to do the Saracen, which is the armoured personnel carrier version, which I always quite like, always looks quite futuristic even now. I've pre-ordered one from Jadlam. I don't get paid to say that, but yeah, I've pre-ordered it from Jadlam. So all in all, it builds quite a nice version of the Stalwart. It looks quite nice with all the bright markings on, because in the 70s and 80s, nobody really did anything. They always got drunk. So yeah, doesn't turn out too bad. I'll put some decent photos on it. The only thing that I wasn't overly keen on was this tarpaulin on the back. So I'm going to take that off, because I don't know, I just don't like it that much. I'll take it off. And I bought, let's move that out of there, a set of these. Now I know that these are for an AS90. They could have been for an Abbott, I don't know. So I'm sure somebody in the comments will correct me. Bought a set of these to go in the back. Now, please don't correct me. Go, oh, well, they didn't carry those. They carried beer and pies, because it's the whole rule of cool thing. I like it. It'll look good. That's all I go for. Excuse me. I've got the washer running in the background, so sorry for any noises. And I have a bishop's finger. That doesn't mean I go around putting my finger in members of the papacy, although they sometimes do that to other people. We'll not go there on YouTube, or else I get into trouble, but I have a bishop's finger. Brewed in Faversham, Kent. Kentish strong ale. Let's have a sniff of the finger. Oh, yes. Not bad, not bad, just what you need. So there has been a bit of a delay in getting videos out, because Christmas has happened. I've also got some kind of horrific lurgy, which means that every now and again I cough up a lung or a slug. And the other day I coughed up something really horrific. I had to Google it. It's called a bronchial cast. So it's like the roots of a tree, but made of bogies that comes out your lungs all in one go. And you like to cough it up, and then people are looking at you as you're doing it, and you're like, stop looking at me! But anyway. Next thing we're going to have a look at. Oh, actually, There's also been a delay because we have a new addition to our family. Not that kind. No, I'm not that lucky. Not that kind. It's the four-legged variety. We have a border collie called Ozzy. He's about, I think he's about 9 or 10 weeks old now. I'll put a picture up of him because if I go in there and try and film him, he'll just start yapping like a dickhead. That's what he likes to do best. But yeah, that's been keeping us busy. Hopefully we'll be doing lots of trudging and walks with him. Get him out exercise. So I'll do some videos on that. But that's that. I've had this in my stash for quite a while. I bought it from IPMS, not last year, year before, and it cost me 40 quid. I'd seen 4 or 5 of them for sale on different stalls for 60 or 70 quid. I picked it up and the bloke went, "You can have that for 40 quid," and I went, "Deal." Gave him 40 quid and ran off cackling because I thought I'd got a bit of a winner. It's a CVR 2 Mark II Scimitar, I'm sure someone will correct me. TES, which stands for Theatre Entry Standard, H in brackets for Herrick, which is Herrick in Afghanistan. Theatre Entry Standard is all the extra bells and whistles that they stick onto vehicles when they go to war. Sorry, conflict. We're not allowed to call them wars anymore. So you'll see Challengers at Bovington, or well, these aren't in service anymore, but you see Challengers at Bovey when they're training. They don't have all the bar armour and all the extra stuff on. They look nice and sporty. And then when they go and fall out with people, they put all the extra stuff on. So these were an urgent operational requirement for the war in Afghanistan. Sorry, conflict in Afghanistan. What they did was they got the armoured personnel carrier variant of the CVRT. Now the government says that these were new build hulls, but they weren't. They were just ones that hadn't done a lot of hours, parked around the back rotting. What they did was they plonked Scimitar turret on the top, which gave a lot more room inside for air conditioning and lots of other bells and whistles, extra ECM kit to deal with roadside bombs. And it also meant that the driver's seat could be suspended from the ceiling instead of the floor, so that if they ran over a roadside IED, a lot of the shock wave would go up through the floor, and obviously if you're suspended from the ceiling, it's not that bad. And it just gave a lot more space inside for the crew. Obviously, with it being Theatre Entry Standard, it's got the bar armour to help defeat rocket propelled grenades. These are wire cutters, and then lots of more ECM kit. This ironing board looking thing on the back is part of the rollover protection kit, because some crew members were injured. In fact, some were even killed in CVRTs over the years. Excuse me. When they roll over, obviously the commander poking his head out the top, unfortunately gets squished, so they have this on the back. This limited edition for UK Tiger Hobbies only. I don't know what Tiger Hobbies is. I best Google that really. But it just means it's got a bit of extra stuff in it. It's got a stretcher and some other bits and bobs. Made by Gecko Models, which are always quite nice. They do a lot of modern stuff, a lot of British stuff. Based in Hong Kong. The only thing is you occasionally get a little bit of English. So like here it says pallet instead of pallet, but hey ho, we'll go with it. This is one of those kits where I keep getting it out, looking at it and putting it away again. And you'll see why in a minute. So, this is one of the reasons why. Just look at that. I've got instructions. This is the extra bit. All it is extra detail on there and a stretcher that goes on it. I've seen a couple of these built up. They do look quite nice. Nice sheet of photo etch with all the extra engine louvers and covers and lots of straps and stuff like that. Markings for a couple of vehicles. I've looked on the Merlin archive and these are all out in Afghan. I'm not sure about the Jenny bit. I haven't seen any photos with Jenny written on the side. Jenny! Okay, Jenny, I'll stay here, look after the eggs, baby. Yeah, bar armour. Looks quite nicely moulded. I always hate doing bar armour because it's always really fiddly. I did an Airfix. In fact, I did an Airfix Warrior, 148 scale. It wasn't too bad, but the bar armour was just too big. It looked sort of at scale and a bit ridiculous. Nice crisp mouldings on the turret. Nice details. It's nice to see extra detail on the lower hull. These did have increased armour. They were just made of aluminium, so they had extra armour added to them. And one of the reasons I keep getting this out and putting it back is because of this. I cannot be bothered with individual track links. I mean, luckily it does come in long sections, but it's got the individual bits as well. I can't stand them. I might get some the white cast metal ones instead. I know they're a bit of a pain in the arse, but they're a bit more sturdy. These apparently snap very easily, but we'll get to that. Another reason why I can't be arsed building it just yet, that's the extra bit, is the road wheels. That's all the sprues for the road wheels. Normally, when you build an armour kit, road wheel one side, road wheel the other, little vinyl bit in the middle, done. This has got lots of individual bits for that, but I will get around to it at some point. More road wheels. That looks like lots of bar armour and ECM related stuff. This is one thing I like about it, is the viewing prisms. Prisms? Periscopes? Whatever. Are moulded in clear plastic, so you can mask off the actual viewing part, paint it green, and it'll look a lot more realistic. It's got the commander's sight and the gunner's sight. All looks quite nice. I do like that. And then the hull. So the armoured personnel carrier had a slightly higher hull. I'll put a picture of them side by side, and it just gives you an idea. Lots of different variations on CVRT. Scimitar, Scorpion, Samaritan, Samson, Stormer. There was a Striker, which is, I think that's the armoured anti-tank version, Striker. And then there's another one that I always forget, which was a sort of an armoured load carrying variant, like a flatbed at the back. It'll come to me in a minute. Striker, Samson, Stormer. It's in there somewhere. I know my mate at work, he was in the Royal Engineers, he operated it. I think he took his H licence testing one. He used to put mine laying equipment on the back. What I'll do is, once I've finished recording, is I'll go and Google it and edit it in so I look really smart. Don't tell anyone. But that is that. I do like how Gecko kits come in a nice sturdy box. That way, that when they sit in your pile of shame for ages, they don't get that squashed. Because this has been my pile of shame for at least 2 years now. That's got a nice sturdy box inside it as well. On the box is what the finished article looks like. Now, Gecko do two versions of this. There's the Herrick version, which is the war in Afghan, which is this one, and then they do Operation Cabrit, which is NATO's forward presence in Estonia, in case the crazy Russians get a little bit fighty. But that's what it looks like. It builds into quite a nice vehicle. I always like CVRT. I like the idea of a tank. I know it's not a tank. It's a combat vehicle reconnaissance tracked. But I like the idea of a vehicle that you can fit 3 18 to 30 year olds in it that can do 55 miles an hour across a ploughed field. They are fun to drive. I've had a crack at driving one at a tank driving experience day. They are good fun. Proper laugh. I'm either going to build that next, or I've got the Scamitar Commander that I need to do as well. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next. Scamitar Commander was quite an expensive kit that my partner bought me. It was originally about 150 quid, and I got it from IPMS for 100. I need to make a hell of a lot of room in the display cabinet for it. With Airfix's new release, so whilst I was building this, I've not weathered in there as you can see, but there's a panel at the front. So this was all one piece, apart from a little panel there. And as soon as I saw that, I knew straight away they're going to be doing an Atlas crane version, or a limber, in case Remy chaps get annoyed, for the Remy version. So I'm going to leave that off, I think. I'm going to put ammunition in the back, because I'm not really keen on this. It doesn't quite fit. There's gaps to it. I don't know. Not made my mind up yet. Excuse me. I have got an AS90 as well in the cabinet. That came with some brass turned bits of ammunition. So I might, I don't know, do a bit of a diorama of the AS90. These at the side, a couple of the loose rounds laying around. I don't know, not made my mind up yet, but that's that. It did build into quite a nice kit really. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for enjoyability. It's what I call a slammer. It's one of those where you start and you think, right, Friday night after work, I'll just do this bit and then I'll leave it. And you put it down and you go, well, I may as well do this bit. Well, I've done that bit, so I may as well do this bit. And then before you know it, you're all the way back here, and your wife, or your partner, or your boyfriend, or whatever, is saying, have you washed them bloody pots yet? Like, yep, just a second, I'm just doing this. I'm just putting the windows in. You've done it yet? Hang on, I'm just painting it. But yes, luckily I've got a very understanding missus that lets me do my lovely little autistic hobby. She does get annoyed when I do this on videos though, so I like to get just a couple of those in, just stroking the wood, making love to the table. Anyway, that's a video for later. We're not doing that now, that's a video for later. So, I'm going to carry on doing a little bit of weathering on this. The kids are out, she's gone out shopping with her mum, the dog's asleep, I've got a washing machine full of pants on the go, and I've got a bishop's finger. I mean, I have washed my hands. I'm just saying I've got a bishop's finger beard. So, I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to carry on weathering this. Next video, I think, will be a lovely little trudge with the dog. So you get to meet Ozzy, the Prince of Barkness. Or it might be a Scam on Commander video, I don't know. But, like, share, subscribe for more rambling videos of an autistic nature. Or don't, I'm not your dad.